Before every new chapter of your life begins, there is a silence, a strange, sacred stillness. It is the space between who you were and who you are becoming. And in that space, you will feel as if everything is falling apart. But what's really happening is that everything false is being stripped away. You may think you are losing yourself, but in truth, you are shedding what was never truly you. Every soul that awakens must first pass through the cycle, the mysterious, uncomfortable, divine unraveling before rebirth. It is a sacred process that precedes every great awakening, the moment when your life, your relationships, your emotions, and even your sense of identity begin to shift. It feels like chaos, but it is holy work, the dissolving phase, when the old falls away. In the beginning, the cycle feels like decay. Things that once made sense begin to crumble. Paths that once felt right begin to lose their light. You feel uncertain, confused, even lost. The universe removes what no longer aligns with the next version of you. Sometimes it takes the form of endings. A job that collapses, a friendship that fades, a dream that suddenly feels too small. And in that loss, your mind screams for answers. Why is this happening? Why now? But the higher truth is simple. You cannot carry your old vibration into a new frequency. Every death in your life is a spiritual initiation. Every ending is preparation for the beginning that's waiting in silence. It is not punishment, it is purification. So if your world feels like it's falling apart, remember, you are being emptied so that the divine can fill you anew. The shadow phase, when the light seems to disappear, then comes the shadow. The part of the cycle most people fear, the darkness before the dawn. You'll start to face yourself, truly face yourself, without distraction, without illusion. The thoughts you buried, the emotions you suppressed, the fears you ignored, all of them rise to the surface. It can feel unbearable. You may ask, why am I feeling this now? You may question everything, your faith, your path, even your worth. But this is the alchemy of awakening. You cannot heal what you will not face. You cannot evolve while pretending you are fine. So the universe allows you to see your pain clearly, not to destroy you, but to show you what still needs love. Because awakening isn't the light simply appearing. It's the light revealing what was hidden in the dark. Every tear, every doubt, every sleepless night, they are sacred teachers, guiding you through the death of the old self. And when you finally surrender, when you stop resisting what is surfacing, the pain begins to soften, the storm begins to pass, and something within you begins to rise. The surrender, the turning point of grace. After the storm comes the surrender. This is not the giving up of defeat. It is the giving in of faith. You stop fighting the process. You stop forcing what no longer wants to stay. You stop chasing what the soul has already outgrown. And instead, you fall into divine trust. You begin to whisper to yourself, if it is leaving, it was never mine. If it is changing, it was meant to. If it is breaking open, not breaking down. In surrender, you open the gates to grace. You begin to feel peace again, not because your world is perfect, but because your heart no longer demands perfection. This is the quiet resurrection, the moment you stop trying to control life, and instead allow life to unfold through you. And when you surrender, you finally make room for the new, because the divine cannot enter a clenched heart. It can only move through one that has learned to let go. The dawn, the birth of awareness. Slowly, the light returns. You begin to see the beauty in things again. The morning sky, the laughter of strangers, the stillness between your breaths. You realize that awakening was never about escaping your humanity. It was about embracing it with sacred awareness. The lessons become clear. The pain that once confused you now makes sense. You start to see why it all had to happen the way it did. The heartbreak taught you compassion. The endings gave you clarity. The silence reconnected you to your own soul. You begin to sense the whispers of the divine within everything, in the wind, in the eyes of others, in the moments of stillness where your heart simply knows, this is it. This is me. This is what I came here to become. And from that space, your next chapter begins. Not from ambition, but from alignment. The new chapter, living from the higher self. When you step into your new chapter, everything feels familiar yet transformed. The world hasn't changed, you have. Your choices come from peace, not fear. Your words carry presence, not reaction. You no longer rush to be seen or validated. You simply are, whole, rooted, alive. This is the fruit of awakening. A life that flows instead of fights, that listens instead of argues, that trusts instead of doubts. And soon, you realize that the old version of you was not wrong or broken. It was necessary. It was the soil from which this new awareness could grow. Every heartbreak, every failure, every confusion. They were all divine ingredients in the sacred recipe of your awakening. You see now that life was never punishing you. It was preparing you to love deeper, to forgive quicker, to see clearer, and to live freer. You begin to walk as consciousness itself, awake, open, aware. You no longer look for signs outside yourself, because the truth now lives within you. The eternal cycle, awakening never ends. And then, the realization comes. This was not your final awakening. There will be more cycles, more dissolving, more surrendering, more rebirth. Because awakening is not a destination. It is an ever-unfolding dance with the divine. Each cycle takes you deeper into your truth, closer to your essence, more aligned with the heart of creation itself. You learn that the cycles don't come to break you, they come to refine you. Like waves sculpting the shore, each phase shapes your soul into clarity. And in time, you stop fearing change. You stop clinging to stability. You begin to flow with the rhythm of life itself. You understand that before every new dawn, there must be a night. Before every chapter, there must be a closing. Before awakening, there must be a letting go. Because the soul does not grow in comfort. It grows in the fire of transformation. And through every ending, every beginning, every breath, you are becoming what you were always meant to be. A vessel of light, a reflection of divine intelligence, a living expression of the infinite. So if you are in the cycle before your awakening, do not despair. The chaos is not your enemy, it is your midwife. It is delivering you to a new chapter that your soul has been preparing for lifetimes. The pain, the confusion, the uncertainty, they are signs that the old is leaving and the new is ready to be born. Trust this process. Embrace the in-between. You are not falling apart, you are falling into alignment. Soon, you will look back and realize that everything that broke you was breaking you open, that every closed door was redirecting you to a divine doorway, and that every ending was just the beginning of the life your soul always knew was waiting.